episode of Beyond the Raven.
Tonight's special guest is Brandon Cooper, host of Shaman Sundays on the Bill of Rights Network.
He's also a member of Supernatural Inc., Paranormal Task Force, and a guest investigator of Raven Paranormal, which is amazing.
He's a super cool dude. To say the least.
So does everybody want to add him to the stream now or wait a little while? Make him wait back there in the waiting room. Let's add him to the stream. Let's welcome Brandon Cooper. Welcome, Brandon Cooper.
Where's he at? He owes me money. oh, you're talking about me. You're talking about me. Hi, guys. What's up?
Hey, Brandon.
Hi. Super cool guy.
So glad you decided to be on here again.
I didn't have a choice. I mean, yeah, me too. Me too.
So what's been going on?
Just planning this Paracon that I'm sure we'll talk about at some point during the interview, that and trying to recover from my Midwest trip where it was like 2,200 total miles of driving with my German Shepherd in the back seat.
Oh my God.
We know how that is.
Oh, so great.
And Katie keeping you busy working on a lot of equipment and
oh yeah, I've been soldering away on computer chips and computer boards all day long, and I burnt my finger. You can't probably see it, but I burnt my finger. But the good thing about when you burn your finger, when you solder, it just cauterizes immediately.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean,
I told him we're still waiting for our Raven box to come out.
Yeah, Brandon, where's our
Hey,
box?
you know what? It takes time. We were drawing it up. Don't worry. Just
all right.
We got you.
You know I'm gonna have to aggravate you about that every time. I can do that.
Yeah, I was doing that with the theme song. I just felt like being a bird.
I saw you back there.
Oh, well, backstage.
Two a Day is one of my favorite groups. I met them here in Myrtle Beach about in 2015. They're a Appalachian Celtic rock band, and they have amazing music. It's just different, so they live in the Appalachian Mountains of Tennessee, and they're wild. So, and Danny was good enough to let me use some of his music. So
nice.
I think it kind of fits in with the Raven thing, with the Raven kind of flying and kind of mysterious. And
that Raven was flying. That's for sure.
I can't remember which one is which, but one has to do with witches. One has to do with it's all magical.
Like a sandwich?
Huh?
No, not a sandwich.
Not a sandwich.
Oh, I'm hungry.
No, but anyway,
good luck keeping this train on the rails.
Y'all
invited me.
Hey, that's what
that crazy hair.
So tonight, actually, I asked you on because you are a shaman, and
I am.
And I don't know about Brittany or Amanda, but I really do not know what a shaman is. I mean, I've heard of them, but I'm not sure. So, what are you? What is a shaman?
What are you? Say it out loud.
I'm like a cross between Gandalf the Grey and a garden gnome.
Not one. Better. Come on.
Yes. Well. So okay, shaman. For many millennia, people use the term shaman and medicine man interchangeably. But there is a difference. Like I use the term shaman because it's widely known, but I'm more medicine man because of the Native American. Shamanism actually comes from the Andes Mountains, which I have studied as well. But shamanism is one of the oldest spiritual paths known to man. It has been around since the very first tribes. There's always been a shaman or medicine man. We're just lucky enough to where we can adapt to modern society. Like for thousands and thousands of years, shamans have been saying, that we come from the stars. Well, now quantum physics proves it. So now we can use modern technology to prove what we've been saying all along, that we are of one consciousness, which sit. which
Say, boo boo.
is that my dog? You're-
It's
Not
our
Not mine.
Oh, I love animals. Oh, that threw me off though. Oh yeah, okay. So
They came from the
we
start.
could. Well, yeah, we're just so able to adapt. That's why their shamanism has seen a resurgence in popularity within the last 15, 20 years. Oh, but basically, what I do is I'm a spiritual go between for, uh, this plane and the other plane of existence. I speak to spirits and help try to guide an individual or a tribe or a community, in the ways that they're supposed to go. We try to keep the connection with Mother Nature as close as we can. Uh, in my personal opinion, that's why the world is going into chaos, because a lot of people live in these cities, in these concrete jungles, and they've lost their connection with Mother Earth. Well, it's our job to try to pray and keep Mother Earth on track, at the same time getting people back to their inner spirit. I mean, we are all of one consciousness. We all share this same world. It's just our realities that are slightly different, but we're all going through the same thing. And we all have the connection to what I call the super knowledge, which is the knowledge of everything right at our fingertips, which includes the universe, the stars, all knowledge, which connects us right back to the stars. So, I mean, hopefully that kind of answered a little bit, but to give you the cliff notes, I'm just the spiritual go between, and I go between.
So I always thought that you had to be Native American or some type of Native American roots. But is that not where shamanism actually comes from? Or
Well, and be careful out there, because there's two different types. There's a shamanic practitioner, and there's a shaman. A shamanic practice, and the difference is a shamanic practitioner has gone through absolutely no rites, no rituals, no indoctrination, and a shaman has. Generally, it is Native American, but it can be anybody. But here's why it's always related to the Native American. Just like I said, being close to nature, having that connection with Mother Earth. Well, who's of all the people around here, who's got that connection?
Exactly.
So that's generally why it's thought of. But yeah, be careful. But that make sure that if you need a shaman, because we're kind of hard to find, but make sure if you're getting a shamanic practitioner, just know that they haven't been through what we've had to go through.
That's what
They're more like book knowledge. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. Don't get me wrong. They know a lot of, I know some, and they know what they're doing. But that's about all I'm going to say about that.
I learned about shamans through multiple classes that I'm in college for. So like my religion class, and I think there's multiple history, but basically just any indigenous population, they always had shamans.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it was always about like the roots with Mother Nature and how that was just the core of everything, the most important. And then the shamans, as I learned, like you said, were basically the guide that connected them to the spiritual realm.
Yep.
So.
Now we do have, I can speak for myself. Psychic abilities. A lot of people try to classify and put us in with the psychic medium kind of bubble, but we don't work like that. We do and we don't. We can. Like I think I did a remote viewing for you guys, at that private location. We can do stuff like that, but generally our main focus is to get the knowledge out to people and not kind of tell them, okay, you're going to get married at 32 or you're going to do this, like that's probably a bad way to say it, but how most psychics will give you the futuristic advice. Well, we tell you what to do right now.
See, that's what really got my interest whenever we went to Pickens, and I thought you were I didn't realize that you had ability. So when you first started, reading, tell me what was going on, what you picked up, my first thought was, wow, he's a medium then, or some type of medium. So and then you were talking about the shaman. To be a shaman, do you have to have psychic abilities?
Another thing about shamanism, generally, you have to be born into it. It's a thing that you're just born with. So I was born with these abilities, uh, just like most psychic mediums, but like it's just we just use them in two totally different ways.
So how did you know? Like, how did you know that you were a shaman versus some of the other, abilities that people have? Like, what made you classify it into that?
Well, I was born, well, not born on, I was born in Anderson, just throwing that out there. But I was raised on the reservation up in Cherokee. So, and my clan is the Blue Clan, which is the medicine men and the shamans of the 7 clans. So I really didn't have a choice. I was born into it.
Okay.
So it was just one of those things that I knew from, my very first memory is I remember being trained on this stuff. I mean, it took me 20 something years. And I'm still learning. I'm not a professional by any means. I won't be till I die, but yeah, it was just pretty much bestowed on me, the whole medicine man, shaman, however you decide to word it. That was just how I was born.
Okay. So you were on the reservation, and then was it like, I'm not sure exactly how it works. So were you on the reservation until you were a certain age, and then you lived off the reservation, or?
For a while, I didn't have to live there at that time. I was born in the 80s, so it was not a very good place for young people to really hang out.
Right.
At the time. So we lived down here in South Carolina, but every summer and every winter I was back at the reservation and I was being trained. My mentor, who God rest her soul, she died in 2003. Her name was Diane Little Sparrow, and she every summer and every winter I was with her. And anytime school break, like the little 2-week fall break or whatever, I was up there. Anytime I was out of school, I was up there. But the only reason I didn't stay up there is, like I said, it's not the res that y'all know now with the casino and the niceness. No, it was rough. So, yeah.
I was just asking because I'm kind of curious how being in society, like how it is presently, how it's been kind of declining as far as how we value nature and, our roots, our surroundings, and we're becoming more technological. We're becoming just detached from everything that, is supposed to be at our core values. You know what I mean? So I'm just curious as to how that affected you or how it affects you now, even.
I try to control my emotions. That's just part of shamanism. But if I had to say it, it really pisses me off. I rode down the road the other day to go to Ingles to get some groceries, and there was like 8 people out walking the sidewalk, and each one of them had their cell phone in their hand while they were walking, like for exercise. And I'm like, I just want to roll down the window and scream, "Do you not realize what you're doing? Mm-hmm. No, you're destroying yourself. Like, you're destroying yourself from the inside out, and that's the slowest, most painful, worst kind of death." So as a shaman, all I can do is do my ceremonies and help Mother Nature thrive and hope that we can bring more in the fold. And that's the whole reason why Katie Stafford and his wife pushed me to start a podcast and actually get a shaman out there. And because I'm content to stay in the shadows. That's what we do. We're the puppet masters.
You're the only true shaman, only shaman I know.
Well, most of the paranormal community that I know that they're just now finding out that Supernatural Inc. actually had a shaman. I mean, they knew that rumors that they had a shaman, and now that when people are finally meeting me, they're like, "Oh my God, you're real." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, we exist." But a majority of them have only known one, and his name was Chris, and he has since passed away. But yeah, even in the paranormal world and the people that you see on TV and Netflix and stuff, that it's just rare to that we kind of come out. So
we are
yeah.
very fortunate to have for you to contact and that we met you. Very rare.
Well, I wasn't going to bring it up really. I was just going to be a paranormal investigator, but it kind of comes out anyway.
No, I think it's awesome. No, because I really, like I said, I don't know that much about being a shaman. So, do shamans tend to provide? Okay, here's what I'm going off of, and of course, it goes back to TV.
No, go ahead.
Some
Ask
say,
away.
well, get a shaman in here. You need a shaman. You need a chaos magician. You need this. You need that. So, what type of services do shamans provide?
We did everything from the weddings to childbirth to cleansings to exorcisms to making the herbal medicines, which I'm trained in herbal medicines. We were kind of the tribes or the culture's one-stop shop for the healing, both outside, external and internal. So, it's kind of whatever they needed. We were trained in.
So, to call in a shaman, is there a certain type of haunting or a certain type of cleansing that when they say, well, you need a shaman to do this, you need this to do that, why can't the shaman just do all of it? Is there a certain thing that shamans specialize in? To say if we need a cleansing, I don't know. I mean, how does it differ?
Each of us kind of specialize in one of the multiple paths, but we're kind of like the jack of all trades, master of none. But I specialize like in cleansings. I do that a lot, both of property and personal.
And you're able to close portals too. I mean, does that make a certain?
Yeah, I mean, but we're all able to do that, or we should be, if the training was correct. We can close portals. We can open portals. We can. Animals tend to know that we're shamans for some reason. Like I've gone over to a friend's house and their dog doesn't like anybody, and he's up in my lap. So we can pretty much do anything, just about whatever you need. It just depends on the mentor. Like my mentor, she focused in cleansings and ritualistic stuff like that. So obviously that's kind of what that's in my forefront. But if you needed an herbal tea, okay, I got you.
I like herbal tea.
I got you. I make one heck of a drink that'll help you go to sleep.
Ooh,
bring that.
I need that
this weekend. Do you have herbal? Okay, no, this is serious, but not serious. They say there's drinks and herbal teas and stuff that can connect you with your psychic abilities, and is that kind of thing true, or is it just a bunch of hogwash?
No, it's true. However, it's not available to y'all.
Peyote? What you're thinking
ayahuasca? I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, okay, since you brought up ayahuasca, yes, that is used by shamans. Yeah. There's a lot of things like, but what you're talking about with the potions and stuff, it's generally for us to take. A lot of psilocybin. Okay, shrooms. Oh, I can't say the other word. I can say shrooms. Oh, ayahuasca was used for years in the Andes, and now it's starting to make its mainstream, which I think is amazing. I haven't had ayahuasca yet, but it's on my list. But it does wonders for veterans that I know with PTSD. But it makes me happy that the herbal remedies are starting to come out, because I remember when ayahuasca first came out mainstream. I mean, I've known about it for years, but how it was witchcraft and it's evil, and all it is a psychedelic drug. Well, now look, there's ayahuasca places just about all over, and there's been medical studies on the benefits. Just like now, the VA is using shrooms to treat PTSD.
They're microdosing. I read about that too.
They are
It's
microdosing.
very beneficial. I've done a lot of research into that.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of funny how the further away with the technology, that you're talking about that people get, the harder we work, and the more that you start seeing little hints of shamans at work. Like, here's a little taste. You guys need this. Here's a little bit of, here's some of our herbal remedies. So we're always out there. We're always pushing for it.
And see, that's the thing. I mean, 100 years and years and years ago, you didn't have a drugstore. You didn't have all these. But what did you use? That's what we've got out here in the forest and nature. There's different things that will help. Because you didn't have all these Prozac and headache medicine.
Yeah, well, you didn't need it because we had natural remedies with absolutely no side effects.
Exactly, and I truly believe in the natural remedies myself. It's just, where does this stuff come from? Well, it comes from nature. So if we destroy nature, where are you going to get it from? So it just, all this synthetic crap and you put in your body, and you didn't have as much cancer and everything else from back. Well, if you did, they didn't know what it was. You know what I'm saying? But you lived off the land. And I'm getting off the subject. But when you were
are you about to die, Jennifer?
I am. I swallowed wrong.
There's too many jokes in that one. I'm gonna let that one go.
That's what she said.
There it is. Thank you.
Isn't the ayahuasca that you're talking about, Josh Gates? Didn't he use that one time to be able to?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I just want to make sure the same.
And that was the whole episode where he was like puking nonstop, which is an intended side effect, and it's not actually a side effect. It's part of what it's supposed to do, and that vomiting is supposed to cleanse. Now, I know one guy that he doesn't vomit. Oh,
is that alarming?
No. If you knew him, he's just weird.
Does it mean he has nothing to purge? You know what I mean? Isn't it a
Oh
purge?
no, trust me, he has plenty to purge.
Oh.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, y'all will meet him in March. He just so happens to be my best friend. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Awesome.
Back there. That guy.
Wait, there's a guy behind you in the room that's your best friend?
Yeah, I call him Charlie. No. I'm pointing to the sign, my background.
Okay, I'm like,
Yeah.
is he really there?
I was trying to give you a little hint. KD. Yeah.
Wait, you're still out there?
No, Lord, no, I'm back home. I got home Sunday.
He was talking about his best friend was KD and important to Supernatural Inc. So
yeah.
Okay. Right over our heads. I'm like,
okay. Fair enough. KD.
I felt like the curtains were gonna open.
His name is KD.
You have 4 people with Supernatural Inc. You got KD, you got Brandon, you got Anna, and you got Katie. So it had to be a guy. So my deduction was,
there's only 2 of us. So and I haven't had ayahuasca, so I wonder who it is.
A matter of deduction there. I figured it had to be KD then.
But I do want to try it. And I may have that set up next year, but I mean, all the people that I've talked to, and I know veteran organizations that will send you to an ayahuasca camp, like in Peru, or I think there's a couple in California.
I couldn't imagine doing ayahuasca and like Machu Picchu.
Yeah, I would probably be naked on top of the pyramid or something. But
back civilization, we know you were here. Alien.
Right. And then I'll be talking to the alien mothership. It'd be weird, but it's gonna be fun.
What is the whole purpose for the drinking of the ayahuasca, to take you to a different plane or to tap into subconscious? See, that's what I want.
Well, it's
What?
the same thing as taking a warrior's quest of mushrooms, which is an ounce in a tea.
And
It's all to get you to a place that we call the knowing. And when you get to that place, like you just know everything, and that's part of the one consciousness of the universe. You take that to get you to that place of knowing, but it's a little funny when you get there, because if you haven't prepared and you're not ready, you won't remember any of it when you finally come back down. Which is why we have our sweat lodges and all of our prep to get our mind and body ready to get, once we get to the knowing, that's where we really bring back the answers. Let's say that you were terminally ill and we had to figure out something. That's when I would hit a sweat lodge, and that I would go to the knowing to try to get the info to try to help you. And that's where ayahuasca would be used as well. At least for shamans. Now, for the veterans or people, anybody with PTSD or trauma, ayahuasca also helps them to release all that BS that's inside that we all just push down and say it never happened. Well, that's to help release all that, which is part of the purging and the vomiting. It's supposed to get rid of and open up all the doors and just get it all out. So, it's got multiple uses, just like anything. Like yellow root, for instance, is one of my favorite roots. It can be used to numb a toothache. It can be used for young ladies that are starting their menstruation to help with cramping. It can be used for upset stomachs. It can be used on a topical. It's so everything that we use has multiple uses.
so someone like Brittany, Amanda, myself, if we wanted to do the cleanse with the ayahuasca, is that something you have to prepare and or whatever?
Yes, but the ayahuasca places that you'll go to, they have shamans there, and they lead you in the ceremonies, and they do the drumming, and they do the preparation for you. So
I want you to do it.
You're not just going to walk out, go to the gas station and get you an ayahuasca and a Red Bull.
Oh, no.
I'm ready.
Once you got yourself prepared next year and got all that stuff, that if one of us wanted to cleanse, because that'd be nice to cleanse all that baggage, and because we all have it. But I was just wondering if that's something that.
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend it. I'd recommend it to anybody. And I haven't done it, but I know enough about it that I would.
If it's anything like there, like of course they do microdosing for like LSD, which is very similar to doing like mushrooms and microdosing periods. Many years ago, Brittany and I tried a spiritual adventure with that, and it was very eye-opening. And I wonder, in comparison, what it would be like, because I remember it basically drains all of your serotonin, takes it all, and it just implodes in your head. You experience this wonderful feeling, and everything, you can tell everything is just interconnected.
Yeah, and do you remember that feeling of everything?
More so humbled by the fact that I didn't know anything at all, and I cried.
And see, that's what it will do.
Yeah,
and that's why
like everything, but nothing all at the same time. It's a feeling that you almost sound like a lunatic trying to explain to someone who has never been under the influence of something psychedelic like that.
Yeah, and I remember the first time I did it, I was just squalling like a little baby. But the closer that we get to the knowing, the more that we know that we don't know, and that's the whole point.
I remember like a week or two after, because I suffer from anxiety and depression and whatnot, I felt like my symptoms were healed. I was a new person, but then of course, reality hits back in, chemicals bounce back out.
No, reality does not hit back in. your reality hits back in.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Your perception shifts right back.
Your perception changed because you took your eye off of the knowing. And that's when the knowing leaves you.
It's hard to differentiate something like that. That's so, because things like that are demonized in our culture. Everyone thinks that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's hard to explain or even feel as though you're doing something spiritually awakening when it's, that was one of the things I mentioned while I was under the influence of that kind of thing. While I was having this adventure and this, I don't know, coming to know myself and, the world around me. But then I thought about, oh, it's demonized. This is wrong. It's not okay. And you can't have that mindset while you're under the influence of something like that.
And that's why the ceremony and all that's very important. To get, because if you're super prepared when you go in, you're not going to think about. Here's the biggest thing: who cares what anybody thinks? And that's the biggest thing I try to get across. Like when I was in the depths of my alcoholism, and I was homeless and all that, I always cared what other people thought. And then finally, when I actually quit caring and I'm just going to let the real me out, I've been sober 15 months, it changes your mindset. What drags you down is other people. All you're here on this earth to do is figure out you and figure out why. That's your question, is why. And you ask that every day till the day you die, because when you die, you figure out why.
And you're right. People have so much influence on, you just need to be you. Forget about.
And that's so, and people don't realize how healing that is. And yes, okay, to get to that point, it took a lot of therapy and talking and, ceremonies on my part to get back to where I was supposed to be. But that's your number one takeaway. Who cares what anybody else thinks?
Yep.
It doesn't matter. Their baggage is not yours. Their opinion of me is their problem, not mine.
Nor is it any of your business. That's how I like to think about it.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know whatever you think of me, I don't care. Think what you want,
Well, because I don't get offended, like if people take me a certain way, because I'm pretty blunt and sometimes it's off-putting for people. And I just always tell myself that I don't take things personally from people who don't know me personally, because I only let people see certain, if I was a birthday cake, they get a square. They're not getting the cake. You know what I'm saying? Like pieces. They don't have to.
Yeah, but and that's also poison. That's also poison, because you're only giving a little bit of yourself when your whole purpose on this earth is to give everything, so that when you're laying in that box, you have absolutely nothing left.
Well, I mean, to people in passing. So people who don't have any depth. You know what I'm saying? Like those people who are just the surface people, the surface encounters of the world.
But I can challenge you on that. What if you gave 100% of yourself, and then all of a sudden they realize that just because you're giving 100%, you help them. And because you know why they're surface is because of their anxieties, what that little thing in their head saying you're ugly, you're not good enough, that everybody hears. That's why they're surface people.
Right.
But once you see somebody like me, I guess, or whatever, that just you're gonna get everything. Oh, that usually will trigger something in their subconscious or something, going, hey, maybe I should listen to this guy. Maybe, maybe he knows something I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I don't mask myself. I just don't. I feel like there's a lot of layers, and I'm not trying to hide it. I'm very open. I just know that in these encounters, when someone wants to talk about something that I deem as very surface, trivial, like other people and what they're doing.
Well,
I want everyone to do good. You know what I mean? I don't.
But who gave you the authority to figure out what's trivial for someone else?
But I don't have to engage in it. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But I'm just saying, I don't like labels. That's the biggest thing. When you say something's trivial, okay, well, what if it's means the freaking world to them, and
what
you
Betty's doing after work.
I think I get what she's saying in the sense of like,
I mean, people talking shit. I don't want to hear it. You know
well,
what I
not
mean?
just that, like also a thing that we've always talked about because of how busy we are in our lives and trying to juggle everything. It's like, okay, so how could I give any more energy when I don't even have enough energy for myself? So it's like in that sense, you know, what
Got
people are worth my energy, especially those who are just surface, I don't know, surface people, like those that are just, I don't know. It's not fair, I guess, to put people in genres, but that's the way it is.
People have to want to get there, though. Like, I won't force them to get there. I'm open if they want to be, you know, genuine, however they view themselves as their genuine selves, right? Like, I don't dismiss them as in like, oh, you're a poser, you're blah blah blah. I can sense when someone's not being genuine, and it's like, I feel like people have to get to that place on their own. So I'm not gonna push it, but I am known for having those really weird, deep conversations with people that I don't even know. You know what I mean?
and see, that's a good thing. And that's not just giving a slice. That's giving more than a little slice of cake if you're getting into a deep conversation. So
Yeah.
basically, don't cut yourself short.
That's yeah.
I guess what she was saying is she's choosy with who she gives the whole cake to, because most
Right.
people in this world, I mean, give or take, we're not the ones to decide whether or not they're worthy, whatever, but we are allowed to choose who we deem as worthy of our time and energy.
I have a good analogy really quick, and then I'll stop.
She's really good at those.
So yeah, I'm an analogy person. Okay, so I give them a piece of cake, right? I offer it to them. I'm like, here's your piece of cake. If they're like, I don't like cake, I'm like, okay, it's in the fridge. You know, if you want to, it's on the counter, if you want to grab another slice, sure. But I'm not going to make you eat the cake like in Matilda when that kid stole the chocolate cake. Not going to do that. I feel like the more you push someone, the more they pull, if that makes sense. Like,
well, I've been sitting here pushing you the whole time just to see where you would go with it. And
I didn't
and you know what? You're just a genuine person.
Thank you. I think you're genuine too.
She's really good at like really understanding someone and sitting down with pretty much anyone if they're willing to open up and giving them really, really like good life advice, whether they follow it or not.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? And even me, and she'll come at me with stuff that I don't even want to admit is true, and she'll tell me like, "Oh, this and this and this," and I'm like, and I like later on, I'm like, "Oh God, that's
right." And then you're by yourself going, "Okay, that's true. That sucks." Yeah.
Like, okay, and she's like, "I'm fine." Amanda,
and then
Okay.
pointing out exactly what's wrong, and I'm like,
I know you're feeling anxious about blah blah blah. It's gonna be, and she's like, "Stop it."
Well, and again, that's part of my job is to just keep pushing buttons.
I'm a
buttons.
surface person.
You should. It's nice that you encourage people to explore
Yeah.
themselves. Like,
I
why? Yeah,
Exactly.
you're pushing the why.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And one of two things happen. They get pissed. And if they get pissed, then that means there's a whole lot more trouble down below that they need to work on. And even when they get pissed, I guarantee you they go home and they're like, oh my God, he was freaking right. I need to work on this. Or two, they like when I was pushing you, you just come back and go deeper and deeper. And I got almost the whole piece of cake. You have a little crumb left.
I want to be pushed half the time, but when Brittany tries to push at me, I am like, I put up the biggest, thickest wall you've ever seen.
Well, be careful what you wish for, because don't forget, I'm going to see you this weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm like that. I'm like a little iron ball that just drops to the bottom of the.
She has spiky energy sometimes, is what I call it, and I'm like, ooh, what's wrong with you? Like, ow.
Ow, I don't like it.
I'm like, you need to.
But then
relax.
sometimes I'm like bubbly, and I don't know what my genuine self is. And
Well, I know what I need to talk to you about, and I'll talk to you in private this weekend. I've already figured out what I need to talk to you about.
I'm interested to know.
Well, stay tuned.
That's not fair. I'm curious about, like, I don't know, just
push the Y out of her, Brandon. Push the Y.
I will, but in private, because there's some deep darkness in there that she's been hiding.
I know what you mean. I be telling her that all the time.
I gotta go.
Oh my.
It's going to be a great Halloween party for Raven Paranormal.
We're going to have a ball. He's going to dig deep on everybody.
Wait, when is this so I can skip it?
Oh no, you're going.
No.
Wait, Halloween, you're gonna be there?
Yeah, this weekend.
We're
This weekend?
working our best. I did score all day, so we're working our best.
I don't even care about. No, I'm just kidding.
Y'all are coming, right? I mean, did everything work out? Seriously, were y'all going to be able to come?
Here's the
We're
joke.
doing our
So
best.
they said we have 4 dogs. We don't have a babysitter for them, and I work at a shelter, and I see it all the time, and I don't trust boarding facilities. Sorry for anybody who works at one. No offense. So they said that we could bring them, but I feel like that's.
Bring them.
I say bring 2 and leave 2.
I'm not leaving nobody behind. No man left behind.
Just
Bring them because animals are actually really, really good tools in paranormal investigations.
What if they're like barking and stuff? 2 of them are kind of anxious, and they're like,
You've
Then
got
we'll be fine.
all right, no one complain then.
I'm not complaining. I love
No,
those
bring
dogs.
them.
All right.
They're
I love
sweet
animals
guys.
anyway.
Me too.
Yeah,
One's
they're
been here
delicious.
the whole time. He's the quietest.
If you guys heard that heavy breathing, it was him, not us.
And you know how they took to Zach. I mean, that was like crazy. None of us, you got a problem. Told y'all that.
Yeah, bring them.
There are children. They have to come.
They're my
I
only
mean, I'll
friend.
probably have to bring mine, my big one at least.
We'll bring their big old beds, their freaking human trafficking cage size.
Right, yeah.
We can both sit with our knees, like flat knees, in the kennel and not touch.
Yeah, they're big.
Hey, we'll use those as tools for our investigation too.
Put Brandon in the cage and tell him to talk.
It won't be, believe it or not, it won't be the first time I've been in a dog cage.
We'll lock you in the cage in the scariest
story.
room.
Right. Well, whatever. I'll come out having a conversation with them. I will be pushing them for the why. Yeah. Why are you so mean? Why do you have spiky energy?
Hats off to you if you could bring a tear, because I can't cry for some reason. No matter how happy or sad I am. Nope.
I'm not. That's not my goal, but
I'm just saying, like, as far as like emotionally, like,
I almost got her with the Titanic.
almost.
oh well.
I'm emotionally blocked.
That's because you put a lot that happened in your past, and you're just holding it down there. Therefore, it's blocking your emotions because you can't get it out.
Why?
Wow.
Yeah, Brittany tells me all the time.
She said something today that it kind of brought a lot of attention to like who she is as a person. Though I know her, I'm with her every day. But she said, what was it? Something about I can't figure out. Hold on, it's like our last text, but it's just it's going somewhere.
We're drifting off here, but we do that.
I remember at the beginning of the show, I said,
Yep,
"Good luck keeping this train on the rails."
That's exactly
So she said, she was talking about being tired at work. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, that sucks. And she goes, man, whatever. I got a lot going on in my head, but I'll be okay. I got to get back to my old self or find new self. And I said, never backwards, always forwards. Love you. Like, there is no old self. You're changing every day.
There's no such thing as there's no such thing as an old self.
You're growing every day. I mean, look who you've met just in the last, what's changed in your life and the people we've met and you've met and the things you've done different. So yeah, you're definitely moving forward every day. That's the way I feel.
Nice and all. Okay, like so for you, just a little snippet for the future to the shaman here. It's almost like, yes, I've met all these great people, but I'm like, oh, they're temporary, or oh, they're surface people, even though I don't feel that about you at all.
That's not the definition of surface.
I don't know. A surface to me, feels as though basically so shut off to the fact that all of the people that I've met now could drop out of my life and I would just continue on the same way I was before. If that makes any sense whatsoever.
That's because that's your choice.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that comes into your life changes you a little bit. You just have to accept it.
Yep.
And even people that are just there and gone, well, that was their whole purpose. They weren't supposed to be around for a while. They were supposed to come in and teach you a quick lesson and leave.
Yeah, you'd be a stepping stool.
That's a
like me.
crappy job.
You know, I've been that person to people. There's people
Yeah.
that I've met, and whatever happened, and then we went our separate ways, and that's just the nature of the beast.
That's what she believes she was too. Where
I'm a stepping stool. So I think that's my purpose. Hear me out. So people often find me when they're going through a really tough time. Like I'll meet them right before it happens. And then I'll help them, I'll support them through going through this time. I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to help you grow, help me grow, because I'm learning from you too. Like helping them sort out helps me sort out. Like I think you should always be learning. But shortly after that, thing they're going through is over, it tends to dissipate. And that's okay with me. Like, but that's why I always call myself like the usher or stepping stone. I don't like stool, that's awful.
No, because those stones get stepped on. You don't.
Yeah.
True. I don't. I can
you
say that.
provide the stones.
Right.
Let me help you cross the water.
Okay, let's get back on track. What am I doing now? Where are we at?
Well, I guess the question is there anything else that you can provide us about being a shaman that you think that you want our
This is what shamans do.
Shaman ability grow.
Well, if it's any, what's the word? I don't know. Basically saying if it proves anything, look at how it turned into a therapy session. You're a shaman.
Yeah.
We felt like we needed to talk. So there you go. There you have it.
So you served your purpose. No, that's right. But this is when it's more fun though. You just kind of go where it needs to go. I mean,
Yep. I mean, and that's generally how things go around me. They're not going to go the way you planned. It's always going to turn into something much deeper, generally, unless I choose not to. But generally, I know that somebody's got to start somewhere. And guess what? We started here.
Well, you just have a wonderful energy. I just love. We all love. The whole team loves being around you. And it said good thing. I mean, just from the very get go. I mean, so you ain't going anywhere. But I guess to get back on, anything else about shaman that we need to know before we move on to our next little topic about the big old Paracon we got coming?
I mean, there's a piece. Never mind. I'm not getting into that. It was going to be a whole conversation about sage and how you're not supposed to buy it. But
what?
Well, yeah.
Oh, you're not supposed to buy. Oh, okay.
You're supposed to
Maybe
pick
it's
your own.
something you have to put together yourself because it means more.
Now, where I get mine, I know the people, but you know, if you just walk into a store, let's just say, and this goes for anything, it doesn't have to be sage, like your fruits, whatever you put in your body. What if the person that picked that fruit or that sage or whatever had ill will and intent? Well, he put that energy into whatever he just picked, and now you're going to put it in your body.
I hate picking tomatoes.
Stupid red tomatoes.
I personally move this tomato.
I don't like these peas.
Oh my God, I hate my job. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, seriously. Oh God, we gotta stop eating pretty much everything.
Oh,
You know everybody hates their job.
But he's right though. Everything is what you put out there.
Yeah, you're
Like,
transferring energy into everything you do.
I guess that was more of like a metaphor, but yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Don't stop eating the fruit and the vegetables.
Well, don't worry, we don't anyway. We're bad.
Well, pizza. Just eat pizza. It's got everything.
Now we're making me hungry, and I just ate supper. But I'm like,
Hungry.
so
How about elevensies?
all right. So we covered the Halloween party. We covered our investigation. We covered shaman. So let's cover the Paracon. All right.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's talk about the Paracon that's coming up in March 24th to 26th at Haygood Mills Historic Site.
Y'all.
Okay.
Never before has it ever been investigated for the paranormal. This is going to be the first time they've let anybody do this. I don't know how I talked them into it, but I did. And
Oh, we know.
well,
So
one of the many gifts.
How big is this Haygood Mills historic site? I mean,
Oh,
acre
about
wise,
50 acres or so.
really? So
Yeah.
Break.
I was trying to figure out how big it was and how many buildings. I was trying to
There is one cabin that was built by the original slaves that worked on that in that mill. The other cabin was built by Native Americans, and then there's another cabin up in the woods that is original, and it stays in a cave. Like they got this whole like jail cell built inside of it to keep people out because it's got the original bed and original kerosene lamps and all that. Well, guess what? They're giving us the key, and we're going on the inside, and we get to light those kerosene lamps that haven't been lit in 200 years.
wow, so exciting.
There's also the Native American petroglyphs that are on a huge rock that are inside a climate controlled building, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to let some of us actually get on this rock.
Wow. So, what is the history of Haygood? What exactly? What is Haygood? I mean, what was it? Native American.
Okay, so it was kind of connected to there was a plantation about half a mile or a mile up the road, and so they that the slaves would walk down and they would work the mill. They had the mill, and the mill that's on it was built in the 1800s, and it still works. Like you can still go get grits. They still use this mill that was built in the 1800s. There used to be a tannery, blacksmith. So that was that's what that was used for in the 17 and 1800s. Now, prior to that, the Buncombe Trail, which is what the Native Americans would use to get from Oconee County up to Greenville and Asheville to the hunting grounds, actually runs through this property, and you can still see where it is. We can get on this trail, but where the campsites are going to be located was was a very large Native settlement. Cherokees had a permanent settlement on this site. And that goes back, I think the petroglyphs are like 10,000 years old.
Wow.
Roughly. So, tons and tons and tons of history that have never had anybody but archaeologists look at it. So now we get to do the paranormal archaeology.
Ooh, what an honor. That's exciting.
It is an honor. That is awesome.
But yeah, it's going to be March 24th through the 26th. They actually have primitive campsites available. So like I'm going to have my tent down there because I know I'm going to be there from like dawn till dusk. So I just might as well crawl in my tent because I'm not going to be able to leave. Too much to do. But, people can bring a tent. Now we got tickets for campsites. They've got a bathhouse on site. So, everything you need is right there.
So we're going to be camping on the settlement, basically.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Because we're going to bring the pop up, so and stay in it.
Pop up tent.
Camper. We have a pop up camper.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's all primitive sites. Yeah, you can park that thing in the parking lot.
But I mean, a primitive site. So can't we just put the camper out and we don't need the electric, or we just because we don't have tents.
I have a meeting with them tomorrow. I know like 3 spots right now that you can put it.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
You might not want to bring that thing out onto where the primitive campsite is because what if it gets wet or whatever? I mean, this is just straight up put a tent up, so we don't want to get stuck or anything. But there's a gravel parking lot right there. There's the parking lot in front of the Mercantile. There's plenty of places to put that pop up, so don't worry about that.
It's not very big. I mean, it's a 16, but it's just and it is self-contained. Well, we're getting off the subject, but anyway, yeah, we'll look at that.
Well, I know, yeah, I've got campers too, so yeah, I mean, yeah, don't worry about it.
Cool, because I don't have tents.
You just probably won't be able to pull it out to where all the campsites are because it's just flat ground. But
we'll take a look at it and see. But I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, we'll figure it out. We've got to do also, Brittany and Amanda, this involves you guys as well. Mm-hmm. We need to do a preliminary investigation before March.
Yep.
of this place.
Mm.
So I've got a meeting with their board of directors tomorrow, and then maybe we can all figure out a time and a date this weekend
Yeah.
and
Okay,
figure it
yeah.
out.
So need to get the layout of the land, and like you said, I'd like to hear more history to be able to incorporate. I actually had one of the guests, one of our followers, want to know if Raven was going to be able to go live, and I said I
Hold that
wasn't.
thought for a second. I'll be right back. This dog won't shut up. Let me go kick him out. Hang on a second.
Okay. But yeah, the live thing is really great. There, everybody wants us to go live, so I figure we would be able to. But yeah, we got to do the preliminary, and it's exciting. It's going to be. We've already sold our. Hey, you know Shannon who went to Pickens?
Yeah.
She was the first ticket buyer.
Oh, shout out to Shannon.
I know. Brandon's got a special gift for her because she was the first ticket. I've got several actually lined up as well as he does. So,
Awesome.
and Carol's coming. Carol's going to be a speaker.
Oh, yay.
Yep.
Ow. I almost died. God.
Yeah,
I know y'all probably couldn't hear the dog because I have denoise on, but it was bothering me. Sorry.
Oh, we
we
could.
couldn't, but no, I just tell him about Shannon was our first purchaser. She was there with us at Pickens, so she's
gonna get a little something special since she bought the very first ticket of the very first Paracon that I've put on. So we're gonna get her something. I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll do something. Strip tease or something. I don't know.
But yeah, some other people were asking if Raven was going to be going live, and I said I wasn't sure.
We can make that happen.
Cool.
That's not a problem. I mean, obviously, there's not Wi-Fi on 50 acres, but I have hotspots.
That's good.
I have several hotspots. So
yeah. So
we will go live. We'll go live.
Perfect.
We're going to have the guest investigator. We're going to have what? Celebrity guest. We've already got. Who do you have lined up already? Well,
I've got Brittany and Amanda. They're special. I got this crazy lady named Jennifer. No, I've got Brandy Marie of she is on the Netflix show 28 Days Haunted. I also have Jeremy Leonard, the Cajun demonologist, who is also on 28 Days Haunted and Ghost of Morgan City. I've got Katie Stafford, who was Ghost of Morgan City, Ghost of Devil's Perch, Ghost Brothers. We supply Jack Osborne with all his stuff for Portals to Hell. I have his wife, KT Stafford, who is a parahistorian. Let's see, who else do it?
Well, Mary Jo Chudley. I think that's the way I pronounce her name. Sorry, Mary Jo, if I pronounced that wrong. But she is a haunted dog collector. She's also been on I can't remember if it's a haunted, haunting or whatever. Anyway, but she's been on several things. She's also on the upcoming Destination Fear season 4, I believe it is.
See, I think it is.
Season 4, episode 2. I believe she's on there, and she is working on coming as well.
And I've got some tentative people. I've got Sarah Lemos, who is on. She was on Ghost of Morgan City, Ghost Town Terror. She has a shock doc getting ready to drop, like the kids say, it's going to drop.
It's going to be fire,
and it's gonna be about the manor that's in California that Anton LaVey used to be in. Houdini was in. That's going to be on Discovery Plus. I also tentatively have Cindy Kaza.
Yeah,
she loves her.
I want to meet her so bad.
She loves her.
I was ready to say it too.
Yeah, we're working on the details. If you don't know who Cindy is, wake up and get out of that rock. But she was on Ghost of Devil's Perch. She's also got a shock doc about Robert the Doll that is out right now. Yeah.
I was a family that yesterday.
The Holzer Files also.
She was a Holzer Files. Her, Shane Pittman, and Darkness Dave.
And Shane had just messaged me on Facebook, And so about possibly being able to come, we have to.
Shane, don't cost me an arm and a leg, buddy. Come on, hook a brother up. Love you, buddy.
And this is all for Paracon?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a lot.
And this, and we've gotten this many people in just 2 days.
Right.
Oh, I also have, I have to fix my nose ring. I hate that thing. This is how I check my 9-volt batteries when I'm that's the only reason I got it. It's for ghost hunting. Just check.
That would have been really helpful to know at Pickens. Could have mentioned that.
Not that right. Yeah. We've also got PRI, Paranormal Research Institute, and they will be coming out and do. I just did an interview with them last Sunday, and they're super scientific. They come with their own parapsychologist. They use random number generators and highly scientific data stacking, along with paranormal investigation. It's like a first of a kind. They're on a super paranormal breakthrough, and they will be running some of their experiments out there. Anybody else that we've missed so far?
I know Scott Horn of Horn Paranormal is thinking about getting a booth. We haven't got that confirmed yet, but yeah, there's several. We just got to get our booth, and then of course Raven Paranormal is going to have a booth out there.
And then I'll have a booth. I'll have 2 booths. I sit on the board of directors of 2 veteran nonprofits here in the upstate, Semper Fi Barn and Veterans Haven of Honor. We'll have some booths set up, taking some donations. So I know that we'll have those. I'm going to try to get my blacksmithing mentor out there to fire the forge up and do some blacksmithing while we're out there.
So it's going to be a lot of fun, and
try to get some bluegrass people out there too. Play some bluegrass.
Stop it! You're literally talking about, besides the paranormal stuff, everything you just said. Well, the last 2 things: blacksmiths and bluegrass. That's every family function. My dad is part of this blacksmith group. We love bluegrass music. Everybody in my family plays an instrument or sings.
Well, I mean, we are at up in the mountains, and it is that's what they did.
I'm down for it. I'm down for that.
And I'm trying to think.
But yeah, we have.
And speak of the devil, there's Sarah. Sarah says hello.
Hi, Sarah.
Hey.
Of course, we're not live. We need to start doing live, I guess.
Speaking of lives, can I plug a little bit on my show?
Absolutely, go ahead.
So November is going to be freaking jam-packed on Shaman Sundays. We will start out the very first Sunday of the month with Sarah Lemos as my guest. We will also have Jeremy Leonard's going to be on there. We're going to have Greg Koss of Shadow Hunters. So Cindy Kays is coming up soon. We're going to have Carter Burchard, who is one of the foremost experts on Bigfoot. So it's going to be great. We're getting some heavy hitters. Good.
So you should get him to come too and be a speaker.
I've thought about it. I got both his books. I talked to him. I don't know. I'll ask him.
That's right. So he can be, because I want to be able to cover. I want this just not to be just about spirits. It would be awesome to have UFO, the cryptid, any type of Bigfoot, any cryptids. I could never get off subject, but Ashley Walmsley, her father has the Mothman Museum. I might contact her because she was going to be on the podcast too.
Tell her, can she bring the Mothman with her?
I'll ask her. See, she can bring that big old statue out there outside the museum. And see
the Mothman.
But I just think it would be awesome. This is going to be really cool.
So it's going to be so much fun, and
a lot of work ahead of us.
You know what? Who cares?
I know.
It's going to be worth it, and you guys get to meet Jennifer, and you might get to see me when I'm not running around. So come meet Supernatural Inc. Come meet Raven Paranormal.
Raven. You are Raven. You and Anna both. let's call it evening and goodbye. And thank you for watching.
West Side. Oh,
And
sorry.
we will sign off. And
Oh.
thank you, everyone, for tuning into this episode of Beyond the Raven with Shaman Brandon Cooper.
Oh, where's the end? Bye.
Yeah, bye, everyone.
Bye,
Have a good
Brandon
night.
Cooper.
Okay.
Pravis